Okay, this is it. After 5 deep dives into the research behind The Millionaire Next Door, we've finally reached the end, the complete blueprint. Exactly. See, what Thomas Stanley and William Danko did was incredible. They didn't just describe millionaires, they reverse-engineered their success. And they found these 7 specific traits, 7 behaviors and mindsets that almost every single self-made millionaire shares. Today, we're putting them all together.
So, we're going to build this blueprint for you piece by piece. First, we're laying the foundation. These are the internal disciplines. Then we'll build out the structure, which is all about the family rules. After that, we'll look at the application, how this stuff works in the real world. And then, at the end, we'll reveal the whole thing, the complete schematic.
All right, let's get into it. The foundation. What's the very first trait?
They live well below their means, and I mean well below, not just a little. The typical millionaire next door spends way less than they could actually afford. They're driving modest cars, living in regular neighborhoods, and they definitely don't upgrade their whole life every time they get a raise. That gap, the space between what they earn and what they spend, that gap is their wealth engine.
So that's really the crucial point. It's simple math, right? The bigger the gap, the faster the wealth builds.
And that just flows right into trait number 2. Millionaires allocate their time, their energy, and their money with one goal in mind: building wealth. They are super deliberate about where every single resource goes. They budget, they plan for the future, they review their finances. They treat their personal finances like a business, with real intention and discipline, not just winging it.
Right, so they're proactive, not reactive with their money. They aren't the ones wondering where all the money went at the end of the month. They already decided where it was going to go, way in advance.
Exactly. And that way of thinking leads directly to trait 3. They truly believe that financial independence is way more important than showing off high social status. Honestly, this is the mindset shift that makes everything else work. Real millionaires are totally okay with being invisible. They don't need their neighbors to know they're doing well. They'd much rather have freedom than just look like they do.
Wow. So, in other words, they chose the reality over the performance. And I guess that one choice, repeated thousands of times over the years, is what really separates actual wealth from just the illusion of it.
You got it. So, now that we have that solid foundation in place, let's build the structure on top of it. This next part is all about how wealth is handled inside the family. Trait number 4. This one is that their parents did not provide what the authors call economic outpatient care. As we talked about in our last explainer, the vast majority of millionaires next door built their wealth without a lot of financial help from their parents. They had to figure it out on their own. And that necessity, that struggle, is what developed the discipline that created the wealth in the first place. The struggle wasn't an obstacle, it was the training.
So the adversity literally built the muscle, the financial muscle that's going to last a lifetime.
Precisely, and that strength directly informs trait number 5. Their adult children are economically self-sufficient. I mean, this just flows right from the last point, doesn't it? Millionaire parents focus on raising kids who can stand on their own 2 feet financially. Yeah, they might leave an inheritance one day, but they don't just subsidize their adult kids' lifestyles. The goal is to raise adults who don't need to be saved, not adults who are always dependent.
And this, right here, illustrates such a core idea. True generational wealth isn't just about passing on the money, it's about passing on the ability to create wealth. That ability, that's the real inheritance.
Okay, so we've got the foundation and the structure. Let's move to the final pieces of the blueprint, the application. This is all about their actions out in the world, in the market, and in their careers. Trait 6. They are proficient in targeting market opportunities. Millionaires next door are business-minded, even if they work for somebody else. They're always noticing opportunities. They're looking for underserved needs. They think like owners, not just employees. So many of them built their wealth by finding a niche and just serving it exceptionally well, year after year, for decades.
So they saw things other people just walked right past. It really isn't about luck then, is it? It's about awareness.
Exactly. And that awareness leads us right to the final piece, trait number 7, they chose the right occupation. Now listen, this does not mean the highest paying or most glamorous occupation. It means a career they could really commit to for decades, one that gave them a stable income and fit their skills. We're talking about plumbers, accountants, teachers, engineers, small business owners. They just mastered their craft and invested the difference quietly for 30 years.
So,
Consistency in a good enough career actually beats chasing the perfect career. It's like the boring path. If you walk it with discipline, leads to a pretty extraordinary destination.
Absolutely. So let's look at the whole thing, the complete blueprint. Number 1, live well below your means. 2, be deliberate with your resources. 3, value independence over status. 4, build your own wealth. 5, raise financially independent kids. 6, recognize market opportunities. And 7, commit to your craft for the long term. You know, when you see it all laid out like that, you realize something pretty amazing. None of these require a crazy high income. None of them require luck or having a famous last name.
No, they require something much rarer and much more powerful: consistency. Just the simple willingness to make the same disciplined choices, day after day, year after year, while almost everyone else is choosing short-term comfort and performance over long-term substance. The Millionaire Next Door, they aren't a myth. They're real, they're ordinary people, and they're everywhere, quietly building a level of wealth that nobody can even see from the outside.
Wow. Well, if this blueprint gave you a new way to look at wealth, you have to make sure you subscribe. We are breaking down another game-changing book starting next week. For sure. You are not going to want to miss it. We'll see you there.